Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. I am the Celtic cigar enthusiast, and I just thought I'd give you some time today, some videos to show you some of the equipment that I use for my cigars. So starting with these lighters, these are my Zippo lighters that I use. So if you saw my last video, you've seen that I made a video on you can actually use Zippos for cigars with the correct insert. So they do butane inserts for Zippo lighters. You switch them over, odorless flame, perfect for cigars, and you get to use the iconic Zippo design lighters. So on this first one, this is the one I used in the last video. This is a standard sort of chrome Zippo, shiny sort of texture to it. It's got a printed design on it, so I think it came from a range called the Diamond range. Was different sort of styles, sort of geometric patterns. It's got the Z at the bottom for Zippo, and then underneath it's got the standard sort of printed case, so Bradford PA, and this is the year of manufacture, so 2016 that came out. Flick open as standards. You've got, this one is the insert that you get with the Zippo when you buy it, so the standard fuel insert. So if you flick that switch, you get a solid flame, stays lit, you don't need to keep your hand on the wheel, and that will stay lit right up until you snuff out with the cap, like so. And then you see there's holes. Well, these are to give it the windproof design, so that shields it from the elements. So when you flick that switch, and if there's a strong wind or rain and stuff, that's going to make sure it protects the flame so that it doesn't go out on you. So standard sort of Zippo design, standard sort of Zippo insert on that as well. And yeah, that's the entry level one that you get. This next one, sort of step up from it, exact same dimensions as before. What I like about this one though is that it's a matte finish. So you tend to find with the shiny chrome ones, they do stand out more. But if you can see here, yeah, look at the fingerprints and the smudges on that. Whereas with the matte version, it hides it so it doesn't sort of constantly have to be clean. You don't need to sort of constantly keep rubbing the fingerprints off it. It hides the marks a lot better. So I do like the matte finish ones rather than the sort of glossy, shiny ones that you get. In terms of the front of this, this is the embossed range. So Zippo do these sort of really heavyweight lighters with these extra designs sort of stuck onto them. You can see here how thick this one is because of the little sort of extra thing on top of it. But look at that design. So this is the Celtic cross. It's got the lovely little Celtic knots here, nice little green cross in the centre. What I like about this particular design is that they haven't cut it across the top. So usually with a Zippo lighter, the way they're made, when you flick it open, on some designs, that would be cut and then that would go over here. But on this particular one, you get this nice bevel. So they've kept across the whole shape and it doesn't sort of lose its style as you flick it open, which is very nice. Printed on the bottom, the usual Zippo PA, Bradfords, and 21s. This is a more newer version. 2021, this particular range came out. I like this one. I've got the butane jet fuel insert in here. So if I strike that button, double blue flame. I would say I probably use this one most out of the three, to be honest, and particularly with this configuration with the jet flame lighter inside it as well. Here in Scotland, the weather is generally terrible. There's always wind, there's always rain. So having a jet flame is a better option for me because it survives the elements, basically. You don't need to spend as much time lighting up cigars as well. It lights the cigars a lot quicker, but you do have to be very careful when lighting cigars because you could damage it very easily with this extremely hot blue flame. So that's one to be careful with when you're lighting it. This one is a little bit different. This is a Japanese custom Zippo. So what is a Japanese custom, I hear you ask? Japan loves Zippo. They are obsessed with them over there. There's a very unique market in Japan for Zippo lighters. What Zippo resellers do is they will buy a basic chrome Zippo lighter for this instance. For example, this once upon a time was just a basic chrome lighter. You can see from the base, it's Zippo Bradford PA, 2013, so the oldest of the three. This is one of the older ones. But when it's been shipped to Japan, the Japanese resellers have customized it with a non-stock design. So you don't see this on Zippo's website. This is something that's been made by the Japanese resellers. But it's a very high quality. I don't know if you could tell on the video, but this little lovely marble thing here, it's not stuck on. That's actually recessed into that case. So it's not a sticker that's been put on there. They've actually dug into the case and inlaid that. And then on top of that, to set it off, you've got this beautiful stallion horse here with the tail going round the sides, so the nice 3D effect. Really nicely done. Not just cheap stuck-on tats. This is actually a lot of thought has gone into this. It is cut along the top, as I mentioned on the previous one. That one's not, that's full. But of course, with the size of that, you couldn't have that not cut, basically. So when you flick it open, the horse's head is on the side. Doesn't matter too much, though. I quite like the look of it. Inside this one, I've got the soft flame butane. So you flick that switch. Butane fuel, but going back to a soft flame traditional lighter. So it takes a little bit longer to light it, but it's more traditional, more sort of standard flame to use when you light your cigar. With it being butane though, as soon as you release your finger from that button, the flame cuts out. You're not going to get a permanent flame like you are on the fluid lighter, but it's not a big thing for me, to be honest. The other thing as well is with it being butane, these are just design printed. They're not the actual holes like you got on the fluid one, so it's not windproof. So you blow in that flame, that's going to go out straight away, basically. So there are a couple of cons to it in terms of using it against the lighter fluid one, but the big pro is that you're not going to get that lighter fluid smell, and the butane won't expire if you're not using it. I mentioned this in the last video. If you fill a standard Zippo with fuel, leave it in a drawer for 2 or 3 days, when you pick it up and go to use it, it will not work because the fuel has evaporated. So even if you don't use the fuel, it will evaporate on its own. You don't get that problem with the butane inserts because the butane is there ready to go in the tank until you physically run out of the butane as you're using it. So much better option. So yeah, that's the 3 Zippos that I have. So Zippo is probably my favourite value brand, I would say. Ranging from, I think I paid about £20 for that one. That one cost me about £50. That one cost me about £80. And then you pay like £10, £15 for the inserts, depending on the style that you want. But yeah, that's those 3 lighters there that I've got from Zippo. I do have another lighter though, and it's something a bit better quality. So this is my other lighter. When it comes to sort of prestige in terms of lighters and accessories, there is only one name, and that name is ST Dupont. ST Dupont makes some of the finest quality accessories. That includes humidors, lighters, cutters, all sorts of things that money can buy. It is the highest quality material, amazing design. It just feels special. Holding this in the hand, it shows off, basically. People get impressed when they see this. So this particular one I have is called the Slim 7. It's probably the entry-level ST Dupont. And in saying that, I think I paid about £180 for it. So entry-level at £180. It's a butane lighter, so it has the hole for the butane gas and the flame control, up or down. Lovely gloss red finish with the gold to set it off, and just look at the thickness of it. It's ultra thin. I really like this one. That's why it's called the Slim 7. If you've got a function, if you're wearing like a suit, you can put that in the pocket. It won't leave any outline or anything like that. You barely know you're carrying this. It's so lightweight and so small. Beautiful lighter. To use it, you just flick this button at the side here at the side. It's got the ST Dupont printed inside it. So if you hold that in, there you go. It's a very short single jet fuel lighter, so great if you want to sort of get really in there and make sure it's evenly toasted all the way around. Jet flame as well, so butane, it's not going to run out on you, it's not going to expire. Nice, solid, reliable lighter. Super lightweight, it weighs next to nothing compared to the Zippos. So yeah, fantastic lighter. Just I treated myself basically this one. It's a little bit special. So this is when I'm on my own or when I'm at a function, I will take this. It's not one to have if you're out with your friends and there's going to be a lot of smoking getting done. So the reason I say that is because of the tank size. So you can see here, Zippo, big chunky tank on that, holds a lot of butane gas for using the butane insert. These ones, as you can imagine, with it being slimmer, with it being smaller, the tank is not that big at all. I tend to find that this will get me 1 or 2 lights of a cigar, and then it runs out. So it's not one for, if you're away for the week, for example, you would have to take the fuel with you. Whereas with the Zippos, with that size of tank, you fill that up, that's going to last you days and days and days. This one though, it's not for passing around. Not that you would with the money you paid for it, but yeah, if you're out with a few friends and there's lots of cigars getting lit, you wouldn't offer to light their cigars, for example, because you're going to have no fuel for yourself eventually. I tend to find 1 to 2 cigars is about the maximum you can get out of that because of the tank size. But that aside, my absolute favourite lighter, it just screams quality. I love the look of it, I love the design of it, I love the little mini flame. Strikes up first time, every single time, fantastic quality. And I've got something else to go along with it, and that is the ST Dupont cutter. So this is the guillotine cutter for cutting your cigars. Has a neat little trick, this one though. It also doubles up as a stand. So when you're lighting your cigar, you've got it all lit, you can flick out the cutter and then rest your cigar on there. So it's a great little thing for sort of keeping your cigar from off the ground and not rolling off the table if you have to sit it down for any reason. You don't need to rest it against an ashtray, you don't need to sort of leave it hanging off the side. You've got this little cutter that doubles up as your stand. So I got this to go along with my lighter, so I think the gold and the black goes off quite well against the gold and the red. You can get a black lighter version of this to match that exactly, and they do this in a few different styles as well, different sort of colours, different sort of things. But that's your standard ST Dupont guillotine cutter, 2-in-1 stand as well. So again, really heavyweight. I love this. It's just again, quality is the word when it comes to ST Dupont. Engraved in the bottom here, name at the top. This lovely sort of diamond pattern engraved here as well. You've got the D on the actual blade itself. Super sharp blade. This will last for ages and ages. I've used cheap cutters before, and you tend to find after a while, maybe like a month or so, you have to replace them because the blades get dull. This one I've been using for about 6-7 months now, and it is as sharp as the day I bought it. Absolutely perfect. Great little design, and I love that little extra feature of it being able to be used as a stand as well. Just gives it that 2-in-1. So yeah, perfect. Even when I have pre-cut cigars that don't need cut, I still take this with me because I love using it as a stand. It's just a great little thing to put on the table. Conversation starter as well. People tend to ask me about it. So yeah, it gets a lot of attention. I really like it. So that's my 2 ST Dupont accessories. This one cost me around £150, I think, for the cutter from Amazon. And then I paid about £180 for the lighter. So yeah, not cheap by any means, but you get what you pay for. These are insane good quality lighters, proper top end material. So yeah, the other thing I'm going to show you, again, it's a little bit controversial, but it's something that I have that I like. It's this. This is, how do you say it, an homage to ST Dupont. It is a copy of the Ling 2 Perfect Ping lighter. This cost me, I believe I paid around £60 for it from a website that specialises in, as they call it, homages. Basically, yeah, they won't call it fake, they'll call it an homage. I've got a few reservations with these, basically. I mean, this, for a start, is lovely. I really love this lighter. Out of all the lighters that I have, this is the one that gets probably the most compliments, believe it or not. But it is a copy. It's a replica, it's a fake, call it what you want, which makes me slightly uncomfortable, to be honest. They do ones that have the ST Dupont badge plastered all over it to try and make, you know, basically rip off ST Dupont. I wanted to see what the fuss was about with these, so I went and got one, but I made sure it's not got the ST Dupont visible anywhere on it, because I don't think that's fair to ST Dupont that people are making money off their name. However, as I say, I paid around £50 for this. The ST Dupont Ling 2 lighter in the UK is currently retailed at £1,500. That is nowhere near my price point, so I have got no chance of basically owning that unless I went for one of these. What I do like about this though is the quality is insane for a copy. I don't know how they've done it, but it's such a lovely heavyweight design. Art Deco sort of engraved into it as well. Lovely gold, stands out all the way around, nice and shiny. And check this out. Listen to that. It's got the perfect ping, just like the ST Dupont, but for a fraction of the price. Scroll wheel, permanently lit flame, butane, so it's completely odourless. Just wow. So yeah, I have mixed feelings about this one. As I say, it is a copy of ST Dupont. It might not be for you. I get why people would be totally against this because it's ripping off ST Dupont. But if you want a way to get something like an ST Dupont, but for a fraction of the cost, you've got these little websites all over the place. You see lots of them on Facebook. This particular one I got was from, I think it was called sherry007.com, which is a bit of a unique one. I took a gamble with that because I didn't think it was genuine, but it was low value, so I thought I'll take a risk on it. But it has arrived, it works, and I can vouch for the quality. Actually, it is very well made for the money I paid for it. And there you have it. That's the collection of lighters and equipment that I have. So I'll call it a day there, guys. Let me know what you have in the comments. If there's anything that you think I should be looking at as well, just let me know. Catch you next time. Bye.